Hello everyone and welcome back to Tera Raid Counters. This time we have a stupidly easy one. Tera Normal RILLABOOM. This one is going to be not even just easy, this is stupidly easy. Too easy. So let's rock and roll it. Tera Normal, it's only going to be with the fighting, which means it's pretty much a guarantee this thing is going to be packing acrobatics. But as for moves like Boom Burst or Hyper Voice, these are actually going to be pathetically weak even coming from Tera Normal, because its base special attack is 60. That's really bad. That's weaker than Decidueye's Air Cutter was. The only real worry is Grassy Terrain boosted Wood Hammers, and potentially Noble Roar, but the good thing about Noble Roar is that if you're using Annihilate, that actually helps you. But our Drain Punches are going to have an absolute field day. But before we get on to your best punch counters, please do not forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. Only 30% of you guys are actually subscribed to us, so thank you very much for your assistance. But as for your counters, the best one's Annihilate. Much of the same reason why Annihilate was the best against Inteleon, where Tearful Look gives you a double debuff and then double Prox Defiant, Noble Roar does the exact same thing. You're immediately +3ing your physical attack if it has Noble Roar. If it doesn't have Noble Roar, okay, that's perfectly fine. The other stuff actually works well as well. But you're bulky, you're fast, you have Drain Punch. If it has anything that can potentially debuff, because there's a lot of moves that RILLABOOM has that actually are debuff moves, you can immediately destroy it far, far easier. Again, Drain Punch, you have Bulk Up if you want to boost up yourself as well. You get Screech access to crush RILLABOOM's defense. Your moves, pretty much the standard: Drain Punch, Brick Breaker, Cross Chop if you want, Close Combat for a nuke when you Terastallize into fighting, and of course Screech. You have about 5 moves you can really pick from and mix and match. The only requirements are pretty much Drain Punch and Screech and Bulk Up. And even then, you don't need Bulk Up. For your EVs, and these are pretty much the same EVs for every single Pokemon you're going to be using as an attacker, it is Adamant, Nature, 252 physical attack, 252 physical defense EVs. It also makes it the ideal solo Pokemon, considering it is incredibly self-sufficient, just like it was against the Inteleon rings. You can either go Life Orb or Shell Bell for your Hell item. I personally prefer the Shell Bell, but Life Orb could be beneficial considering RILLABOOM can have Grassy Terrain set up. You're going to get passive healing in addition to the damage, so it kind of offsets one another. Galarian Zapdos, or as I like to call it, Gyapdos. And I actually realized a bit later that I probably should have included this because for an upcoming Battle League that's going to be on the channel, I'm actually facing off against a Gyapdos, so I know fully well how terrifying this thing is. And this is actually a reshoot, as you can tell by the hair and the different shirt. This is recorded a few days after the initial recording because I realized maybe I should talk about this in the event that RILLABOOM doesn't actually have acrobatics. Because it can either become the best solo option and the best attacker overall, or the absolute worst. It is insane what Gyapdos is capable of doing. Because acrobatics basically nukes Gyapdos. Even if you have Bulk Up, maximum defense, you do not survive 2 hits from this thing. That is, even if it doesn't use Screech. If it does use Screech, you're dead. And even if you use a move like Bulk Up, you still don't survive enough hits while healing enough with the Shell Bell and Thunderous Kick to make it sustainable. But if it doesn't have acrobatics, there is nothing it can actually do against Gyapdos. Thunderous Kick will always debuff its defense, so you snowball damage until you get it to -6 physical defense. You have Defiant, so that way you're always boosting it using moves like Noble Roar, and you resist basically everything it can throw at you. The only thing really holding this back outside of course, the weakness to acrobatics is that Thunderous Kick won't have enough power points, depending on when the purges go up and when the shields go up, to actually knock out RILLABOOM. So you're going to want to move like Brick Break, Close Combat, or possibly Reversal in the moveset just for some big nuke to finish off if you possibly run out of power points. It's just that simple. Second up, we have Iron Hands. And the reason why Iron Hands is second to Annihilate is because of the Screech tech that Annihilate gets and the Defiant potential. What makes Iron Hands good is Belly Drum. We also mostly have Iron Hands built with Terastallize fighting anyway for Drain Punch spam. It intrinsically does more damage with a single turn. Annihilate requires a few turns of setup to get going, but once it gets going, it's basically unstoppable. Iron Hands just gets right into the punching. The only tricky thing is Iron Hands does get outsped, so you can either choose to go full speed investment, and if it's running a Jowling Nature on the Rillaboom, you actually get outsped anyway, so it's not worth doing. Or you can go for the pure power, but that means you're taking 2 hits from Rillaboom at minimum before you get to use your Drain Punch. So you could potentially get knocked out. It's a bit of an inherent risk. But if you do get the hit off, it is vastly more powerful. Again, pretty standard. Belly Drum, Drain Punch, Close Combat, Brick Break, same thing. Shell Belt is good. Potentially you could run a big HP berry like Citrus to ensure you don't get knocked out, but that is a bit more situational. One of the more interesting ones, and these are the 2 sort of outliers of your attackers, and that is Zamazenta, Corviknight. Reason these 2 are outliers is that you're actually not using your physical attack. You actually want to go Impish Nature with 252 physical defense and HP EVs. Because both Corviknight and Zamazenta use Body Press with defense. These don't really have to worry about anything that Rillaboom can do. They completely wall it, and of course, now that Zamazenta gets access to Body Press, Fighting type Stab, automatic +1 in physical defense, Iron Defense goes to +3. Body Press, ridiculous amount of damage. Corviknight, again, completely walls it. You can give it the Leftovers or the Shell Bell, whichever one you really prefer. Set up, and then just slam with Body Press. Also, these work well for solos. Corviknight would work far better for the solo, because it also gets access to Screech Attack. The final of our attackers are Corydon and Zacian. The reason why Zacian also fits on here is that even though it only has a +1 to physical attack, that actually makes it as powerful as if it was a stab fighting type, using Close Combat or Sacred Sword. And the other one is Corydon. Naturally get boosted stats from the Sun being active. Collision Course deals bonus super effective damage, Screech, and Swords Dance, along with the Drain Punch stat. Pretty strong. Again, Adamant Nature, 252 attack, 252 defense. The only worry for Corydon is acrobatics, potentially, but again, you're going to be outspeeding and offsetting that, so again, not really a big thing to worry about. The real issue for it is Noble Roar spam. That's really the issues for everything other than Annihilate. Items, of course, Zacian and Zamazenta are going to want their specific items, the Rusted Shield and the Rusted Sword. Corydon, you can go either Shell Bell or Life Orb. Again, doesn't really matter which one, but I prefer the Shell Bell. Now on to supports. Pretty much our standard is just Screech users again. Corviknight we went over a bit before, but a little bit more in-depth here. Body Press, Iron Defense, Screech, and you're going to want Mirror Armor on this thing. The reason for Mirror Armor is if Rillaboom is using Noble Roar, that will reflect the Noble Roar back onto it, debuffing Rillaboom's attack. And Rillaboom also gets Screech, so if it uses Screech on you, that rebounds the Screech onto it as well. So it's really a win-win-win-win-win. You don't lose if you use Corviknight, it just kind of bodies it. But the rest of the supports are our fairly standard Screech supports, Revavroom, Muck, Alolan Muck, even Skuntank, and Umbreon. All of these, same stat line as the Corviknight, Impish Nature, 252 physical defense and HP. Again, you just really need Screech and Helping Hand for them. Can't really do anything if the shield is up, but again, kind of the idea is you just use Helping Hand when the shield is up. And if you want to feel like it, you could go Arcanine, Intimidate, Helping Hand, with Howl. Same like kind of what we did against Delphox. Yeah, this really isn't a long video because these raids are stupidly easy. Rillaboom is kind of a complete joke with the typing it is and the moves it has access to. So please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. See you guys next time. That's what we go out.